So far this term, we have learned about each of the macronutrients, how they're digested, absorbed, and transported to the cells. Then, at a cellular level, we learned how energy is obtained from the macronutrients through the metabolic pathways. Now we finish the story by looking at what this all looks like in terms of maintaining our body mass. Energy balance is simply the amount of energy consumed compared to the amount of energy expended. Of course, energy is measured in kilocalories, so as we discuss energy balance, we will really be talking about calorie balance. The energy we put into our bodies comes from the calories obtained by the energy nutrients, carbohydrates, lipid, and protein. Carbohydrate is by far the largest caloric intake because it is our main source of energy for cells. We also obtain calories from alcohol, but it's not considered a nutrient. On the other side of the equation is the energy expenditure, which is the sum of all the energy your body's cells use to perform various functions. The majority of energy expenditure is from functions of basal metabolic rate, or BMR. BMR is the energy required for vital functions that keep you alive while you're at rest. Energy required for physical activity is the next largest component of energy expenditure, and only 10% of energy we expend comes from the thermic effect of food, which is the digestion and absorption of food we eat. If calories consumed equals the amount of calories we expend or burn, weight is maintained at its current mass. If calories consumed exceeds calories expended, we gain weight. If calories consumed is less than calories expended, we lose weight. It is believed that about 3,500 calories is equal to 1 pound of mass, including fat and lean tissue. Of course, this is not including water weight, which fluctuates throughout the day depending on the variances of fluid in the body. This 3,500 calorie per pound idea has been under heavy criticism. Researchers are finding that the number of calories making up a pound varies with each person, and that makes absolutely perfect sense. It would be a little silly to believe that every person burns calories at the same rate. There are way too many variances in the body to allow that to be true. However, the concept behind the 3,500 calories per pound is the important aspect. So whether a person burns calories at 3,500 kcals per pound, 2,000 kcals per pound, or 5,000 kcals per pound, it's the concept of energy balance and losing weight that is all the same. It is critical to understand this process despite the exact numbers. That said, we will be using 3,500 kcals per pound to demonstrate the process of energy balance and weight management. As we mentioned, the amount of energy or calories in equals the amount of energy expended. A person maintains his or her mass. Every person has a different amount of calories that are necessary to maintain his or her own body. So let's use 2,000 calories as an example to see how we would gain and lose weight. Assuming that 1 pound equals 3,500 kcals, in order for a person to gain 1 pound, he or she would need to consume 3,500 calories above energy balance. So we would add 3,500 calories into the body and keep energy expenditure the same. That gives a total of 5,500 calories in and 2,000 calories expended, leaving a net positive 3,500 kcals, which equals 1 pound per day. But is that really how we gain weight? Do we really eat an extra 3,500 calories on top of our regular diet every day? Not likely. I mean, maybe at Thanksgiving. Experts say we eat as much as 7,000 to 8,000 calories on Thanksgiving, but that's only one day out of the year. We're really not eating that many calories in a day to gain weight. So what if we ate just an extra 100 calories per day? Let's add 100 calories into our bodies on top of the 2,000 we need for energy balance. That gives us a net of positive 100 calories. Now, since it's only 100 calories, does your body say, oh, this isn't a pound, I can just excrete it? No. Go back to metabolism. Your cells will metabolize all of the energy nutrients to make more ATP until cells no longer need energy. And then the rest is stored as fat, no matter if that is an extra 1 calorie or 5,000 calories. So if we eat that extra 100 calories per day for 35 days, that adds up to 3,500 calories or 1 pound gained. Multiply that times 1 year. And we have now gained 10 pounds in 1 year just from eating an extra 100 calories per day. And we all know what an extra 100 calories looks like thanks to the great marketing folks at Nabisco. 100 calories is not a lot of extra food in a given day. Let's switch gears and look at how we lose weight. In order to lose 1 pound, we would have to consume 3,500 calories less than energy balance. Using the same example, we subtract 3,500 calories going into our bodies while leaving energy expenditure the same. That gives us negative 1,500 calories going in. Wait a minute. Can we consume negative calories? No. We can consume 0 or positive calories, but not negative. And I guarantee that if you are eating 0 calories, that energy expenditure will not be maintained at 2,000 calories. As you recall, energy expenditure is determined by BMR, or basal metabolic rate, physical activity, and thermic effect of food. With basal metabolic rate, we know that starvation decreases energy expenditure because the body conserves energy with low calorie intake. Physical activity will not be maintained because you are not providing calories to sustain the activity. With food intake at 0 calories, you will not have any expenditure from breakdown of food. Total metabolic rate will decrease significantly. So, what if we lose the weight the same way we gained it, a little at a time? If 3,500 calories equals 1 pound, then if we take those 3,500 calories and divide it over 1 week or 7 days, that's 500 calories per day. So we subtract 500 calories from our energy in while leaving energy expenditure the same. This leaves us with a net of negative 500 calories. If we continue to eat negative 500 calories every day for 1 week, then we'll lose 1 pound. Is this a realistic number? Well, 1,500 calories is a decent amount to consume, and we can obtain all of the important nutrients in the food provided within 1,500 calories per day. I can still maintain physical activity and won't see any negative effects in my BMR or thermic effect of food. I will be able to maintain my energy expenditure. So the math can be maintained to lose 1 pound per week. To lose 2 pounds per week, we decrease calories by 1,000. Leaving us with a net negative 1,000 calories times 7 days, which gives us negative 7,000 calories per week, or 2 pounds lost per week. But I have a problem with this scenario. We should never go under 1,200 calories per day for 2 reasons. 1, in order for you to consume that low of calories, your food intake would be so meager that you would not be able to consume all of the other nutrients like vitamins and minerals in adequate amounts. The second reason is that when your calories get low, your energy expenditure will be affected. Just like we talked about before, BMR will conserve energy when calories are too low. Physical activity is more difficult to maintain when you are not providing energy to sustain the activity, and food intake is less, which means less energy expended from its breakdown. You will lose weight, but it will end up being much less weight loss than if you had decreased a moderate amount of calories. They've actually done scientific studies to back this up. They found the lower the calorie intake is, the fewer pounds lost in the long run. So realistically, the math does not work with low calorie intake. I'm sure you're beginning to see why we have the recommendation of losing 1 to 2 pounds per week. This is the part of the lecture where students, with their great critical thinking, ask if they can both decrease energy in and increase energy out so they can still lose the 2 pounds per week. The answer is absolutely yes. We start by decreasing 500 calories going into our bodies, leaving us with 1,500 calories consumed per day. Then we increase our energy expenditure by 500 calories. If you recall from reading about energy expenditure, the only way to really increase the amount of calories expended is through exercise. So that leaves us with a negative 1,000 calories per day times 7 days equals negative 7,000 calories per week, or 2 pounds. Did you ever stop to consider what a 500 calorie workout is, though? It all boils down to 1 hour of moderate to intense physical activity. Now remember, the numbers we just went over, where we consumed 500 calories less and increased physical activity by 500, is based on 7 days. That means in order for you to lose that extra pound from exercising, You must exercise at a moderate to intense level for 60 minutes every day. Sadly, research shows that exercise does not help us lose more weight. I know that sounds crazy saying that. Mathematically, the numbers say we will lose more weight if we add exercise. But realistically, most people cannot or will not exercise enough to increase calorie expenditure to lose weight on a daily basis. So the truth of the matter is that for most people, weight loss will come from cutting calories, not exercising. But exercise is the biggest predictor of long-term weight management. Let me repeat. Exercise is the number one predictor of whether or not you will put that weight back on again. That means if you do not exercise when you cut your calories, you will just gain the weight right back again. This topic is often very frustrating for students, mostly because it explains why you cannot take a pill to fix the obesity problem. It's a numbers game. But at the same time, we do not want people focusing on the number of calories consumed daily. It's a monotonous task that can become obsessive and unhealthy. In the ideal world, everyone would listen to their body cues of satiety and hunger to determine how much food to consume and when. But alas, that is another lecture entirely.